Welcome, welcome. So I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Hidden Realms for you today. We are focusing on a question of health. I have Blue Topaz out today. It's hard to see in the camera, but it's there to help with specifically the throat chakra. You had mentioned this other chakra, but I'm unfamiliar with it, so I think it would be unwise of me to focus on that at the moment. So, with your intention being held, and my intention to the cards, to talk about the health. So bear with me, there may be the occasion where I need to review something in the book. This is a brand new deck for me. I've only just received it a few days ago, so we're still getting to know each other. But I think it's a really appropriate deck for our purposes today. It seems to have quite a healing energy to it, and it is very earth-based, which is what I wanted for today. Okay, I think we're good. Let's begin. My cards are going to snuggle. There's not much room on this table. Actually, sorry, my bad. I'm doing this a little bit cockeyed here. Oh, I'm just checking to see that we can see all the cards. You can ignore my pajamas. Okay, so today we are focusing on health and what seems to be happening and how we can get past it. So we'll do a spread that you've seen from me a few times now. And it's one that I really like to get a really good whole picture of what's happening. So right now, currently in the present, we have Temperance. So Temperance, again, is about finding that balance. It's about bringing the two things together and finding that unity, and being able to direct those energies into the areas that you want them to go. 14 is 5, so there sometimes can be a little bit of conflict there, and trying to find that balance and regroup into those healing energies that you're looking for. What's brought you to this place is the Emperor. So there's a lot of that masculine, fatherly energy happening right now. So I find that interesting that he's the one that has kind of brought you to this place. So with that Emperor card, he's sort of the king of all earthly realms. So I'm sort of wondering how that's going to fit in. So let's come back to that one in a little bit, because I find him interesting that he's in that place. A few things that we can look forward to as we're moving forward is the Empress. So how beautiful is that, you know, we have the Emperor and the Empress flanking that balance. So I'm kind of almost feeling like that you've got that abundance is on its way, it's coming for you, that real connection with the earth. But you've got that masculine inner drive kind of behind you and pushing you in that direction. So I think by bringing both of those earth energies together, the masculine and the feminine, the Lord and the Lady, will really help to create that balance that you've been seeking and kind of help to settle things out a little bit. So in the place of the desire, we've got the Eight of Wands. So the Wands, as you know, are about desire. So I like that she's shown up in her own space. And now typically the Wands will have the actual wands in motion, or at least one of them actually in motion, whereas with this deck it's actually her that's in motion, and she's prepared to take that forward leap, and she hasn't quite released that arrow. But she's definitely really ready for it. And that 8 is about that cyclical sense of things. So it's almost like there's this cycle that's happening and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, but it just hasn't reached that breaking point where it really needs to let go. And those desires and those hopes for possibly for good health just haven't quite manifested for it yet, which seems to make sense. So the communication that's needed. I kind of like that the 3 of us are almost together in this today, and then the 3 of Cups comes up in the place of communication. So I think really finding that sense of communication and really bringing those friends and those people that you trust and building those relationships and really strengthening those relationships around this situation could possibly be a really vital idea. Because I know a little bit about what's happening, I can also interpret this card as the professionals that you're seeking, and to be having great communication with them and not feeling unsure about how much that you can tell them. You're a very energetic and natural focused person, and I think it's important that maybe they're aware of this as well in order to help you get past this place that you're in right now. So as far as the emotions go, obviously that's perfectly accurate. You know, there is a little bit of conflict. There's a little bit of, you know, you've sort of reached a particular point, but you're not really sure now what to do with that point. And there's a lot of strong emotions happening right now. So you're a little bit in conflict with the situation, which again, it seems reasonable. There's definitely a way out of that conflict, and it may take the group in order to get you out of that space that you're in right now. So maybe put a little bit of trust and faith in that group, even though they may not be telling you what you really want to hear. Sometimes we just have to have faith, as we all are aware. So as far as that Earth goes, and I've got an Earth and an Earth, which I just love it. So the 4 of Pentacles, in a traditional deck, it's about hanging on too tight, and it's about greed, and it's about kind of just not letting go and being really stagnant in that space. But in this particular deck, I find it almost a bit more of a healing card, where Mama Badger is protecting her 3 youngins. There's a bit of a precarious structure above her that's not quite stable yet. So with her trying to protect, that's really what I see is there's this protection there, and I'm almost wondering if there's a connection between that throat chakra discomfort situation that you're having and those things that haven't been able to be voiced yet. And we spoke about this briefly last night, well, a little bit more than briefly, about just giving it some time and letting that voice come to you when it's ready. So part of you is still in protection mode. So, you know, let it kind of unfold, let it see what's going to happen, really utilize the energies of the Lord and Lady right now, because I think that they're really important. The fact that they came up together is really indicative that those energies, you really have to encompass both sides of those arts in order to make those to really work out well. So as far as the energies that are influencing you right now, you have the Ace of Cups. He's cute, isn't he? So the Ace of Cups, again, those aces are about those new beginnings. It's about bringing those new energies to you, seeing something for the first time. So, and the cups again are those emotions. So I think, again, as far as this health situation goes, you know, we've got a couple of cups kind of side by side. I've got a bunch of wands happening. We've sort of got a good blend of all of the only thing I'm not seeing here is swords yet, but we haven't finished our reading. So as far as those energies that are coming from the universe, it's all about that new beginning. It's that new start. It's that exploratory nature. And it's an exploratory nature into the emotion of what's happening. So this, although I don't deny that there is a physical manifestation of what's happening, I'm almost starting to feel, and I think I felt this in the last reading as well, that a lot of it is stemming from not being able to quite voice what's needing to happen. So take those energies of that new relationship, change your perspective maybe a little bit, and try and find some other voice to what's happening for you right now. And things may tend to shift a little bit. So some of the things that are causing you a little bit of distress is the Two of Pentacles. Isn't she beautiful? You know, I'm noticing these cards might be a little bit hard to see on this backdrop, but I apologize for that. You can always text me and I can send you pictures of the specific cards if you like. So the Two of Pentacles is, again, it's about that pondering. It's about that do I take choice A or choice B or A or B? Or so finding that choice and being a pentacle, that earthly realm, it's really kind of, what do I do with this? I'm not really sure. I've got two options here. They're both, both of the flowers are beautiful. They're open, they're bright, they're really welcoming. And you can see that even though there's two separate choices here, they both really kind of come from the same place. So really focus on being grounded and really centering those energies and centering that chakra. And just let it sit. Again, nothing in here is, other than the Eight of Wands is saying that, that break is coming. Something is really pushing forward for you. But with this particular card, I just don't feel like it's actually happened yet. It's right on the precipice of coming to the conclusion of that situation for you. So again, reading them all together, with the Lord and Lady flanking the balance, how poetic is that? You've got all of those masculine energies of nature and growth, and even to some degree destruction and violence, and then you've got the nurturing mother, the queen mother, the mother earth, the lady, where she's just bringing everything together, and she's about abundance and fulfillment and growth and earth and all of those things. So I really love that they're flanking that essence of balance. So I've got balance flanking balance, which I think is beautiful. Those desires are coming. Something's about to let go. It's really quite imminent. It's not going to take long for something to snap, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I never really kind of got this, but here it is. Really, really, really communicating and really expressing yourself in the way that works best for you, not what works best for them. So if they're looking strictly at a medical diagnosis, they're going to miss the big picture. You may need to get a practitioner involved that is open to those alternative ideas. But once you find that grouping of practitioners, that's really the right one for you. I really can see this moving forward a bit better. You do have a little bit of emotional conflict with this, and I almost feel like it might be a little bit more than just a little bit conflict. But again, it's going to take the group in order to get out of this conflict, even though part of this conflict is caused by that group. It's a bit of a conundrum, but I feel that you can understand that and be able to work with that okay. Again, in that physical place, there's a protection. Something is blocked. It's not moving forward. It's just not coming out of the way that it needs to be. So taking some time and finding what it is that you're holding on to so tight that it's restricting that chakra, and it just won't let that move forward and bring you any peace. And letting those universal energies of that newness, of that relationship. I don't think it's much relationship as much as it is emotion. So let the universe share her emotion with you and take that in as yours and see where that goes. I think that might be an interesting place for you to get started and watch those choices. I understand the difficulties of wanting something to be and actually manifesting that something to be. So it can be a bit of a trick in there. So just kind of focus those energies. I think this is really the main key for you today. It's kind of like glowing at me here, is really taking those natural energies of the Lord and the Lady and finding that sense of balance within yourself. So then we've got these three cards, and again, we've done this before. So this is the obstacle, this is the solution, this is the outcome. Again, everything is potential. Each decision and choice that you make will alter how the cards read. So part of the obstacle that's happening right now is strength. How very interesting. What a beautiful card. So with the strength card being an obstacle, what I can see from this is, it's funny, I'm coming back to conflict even though it reads an 8. And the 8s again are that cyclical energy. So I'm wondering if that, geez, sometimes they just stump me. Okay, I'm going to finish this and then I'll come back and see if there's a little bit more clarity as to why the strength might be a bit of a blockage for you right now. So 2 of Cups for the overcoming and the Hanged Man for the result. So I think that the strength being an obstacle is, I'm wondering if it's kind of that energy that you put out towards people, and you're a very, very strong person, both energetically, emotionally, physically. Like, there's a ton of strength in you right now, and I'm wondering if you need a little bit of that quietness and a little bit of that, I think weakness is the wrong word, but just a little bit of that softness that doesn't always penetrate through. And that may be the blockage, is that you're holding on to everything with such a fierce stick and such strength and determination that nothing can get through, because you've got that kind of locked up within those energies. Breaking through those energies is the Two of Cups. You've got a lot of cups happening here. Oh, not a lot, sorry, you only got the two. I thought I had a third cup. No, I don't. My mistake, sorry. So with that Two of Cups, you know, you've got the Two of Cups. Look at this, Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, Three of Clubs. I love how the cards run for you. There's always some sort of a series. So, you know, grabbing that new beginning, being able to move through this blockage by finding that connection. You've got that communication with a group of people, but you need to start with one. You really need to find that person that you can, or that practitioner of any sort, that really gets it, you know, that just really gets the whole picture. They get the physical manifestation of the disorder, or of the blah, 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 blah. Physical manifestation of the situation, as well as the emotional connection to it, as well as the spiritual connection to it. So this is telling me that all of those pieces are involved with what's happening with this health situation. And when you find this connection, and you find this ability to communicate within the group, there's that new perspective, you know. And the Hangman is a double-edged card. It tells you that you need to look for things in a different way. You need to change how you're approaching it. I almost feel that we got the Hangman last time. I'll have to look at your previous spread. He's been coming up a lot for people lately, is changing that perspective, seeing things from a new point of view, and then being willing to sacrifice something in order to gain something else. He's very much about that willing and committed sacrifice in order for betterment. And that betterment is often that change of perspective that you're seeking. So I feel that that's working, excuse me, quite well. So again, overall, my general interpretation of this is using the Lord and the Lady. Those earth energies are paramount, just paramount for you right now. You know, you've got the Lord and the Lady here for your pentacles. These are both pentacles for earth signs. So there really is a lot of that grounding, that earth that's required. You're cornered by the desires and the hopes, between the conflict and the forward motion. And then you've got a couple of aces, or not aces, sorry, a couple of cups floating around that really tie those emotional situations into it. So right now I'm off camera. I'm shuffling. You know this deck. You and I both know this deck. I like this deck for you because you have these cards, so you can run through and grab that card and have it as a visual reminder. So I like to use my Oracle deck for you. You're kind of one of the only ones I use the Oracle deck for, which is kind of interesting. Just as almost like a focal point. Sometimes I feel that there's so much going on for you that it's nice to just kind of narrow in and find that single thing that's really wanting you to focus on it and help you through the situation. So we're just going to shuffle this out until it tells me to stop. Oh, there. Good. So the focus that the cards are suggesting you look at today is share your thoughts. Can you see him? I don't know if you can see him clearly enough. So share your thoughts. So this, I mean, it makes perfect sense. You know, we've been talking about that the whole way through, you know. Finding that connection, changing your perspective, finding that group of people that you can really trust. And, you know, and it can almost be like, you know, you've got natural, you've got allopathic, you've got spiritual. So I really like that sense for you. This is a really pull card for me today. And sharing. And I'm wondering if trying to, I know what it's like to deal with medical specialists, especially when it comes to something other than cells and chemicals and chemistry. But I think it's important that you really share it, that they really understand that there's a bigger picture here. You don't have to give them details, but you can definitely say, you know, like, your beliefs and your values, and a good professional will take that into consideration and be able to work with you and be able to help guide you in the place that you need to go. So so share your thoughts, and there you go. So really focus on being grounded, really focus on making those connections with the people that can help you through this, and be a little be a little less strong, honey. I think it's okay to let go and to let some of those walls down on occasion to in order to move forward, and the strength being countered by the Two of Cups, which is a very tender, emotional, soft, gentle card. I think is really a key point here. There's a couple of strength elements here. I mean, she's a strength, he's definitely a strength, but for the most part, we're light and laughter and love and just a little bit gentler. So there you go. I hope you find an answer in here at some point. I think that would be lovely, and I miss you and I love you and I hope you're doing well. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Take care.